I mean, it's a big change. It's a big change because also all major central bank moved somehow in together to signal that they are concerned about inflation. Now, actually, they have been very surprised. I mean, if you look at the projections from starting, 2021 this year, they have been much lower than the actual outcome. The ECB just doubled its inflation projection for next year from 1.7 to 3.2. So they have been extremely surprised. Now, of course, the issue is that with COVID-19 and the pandemic, a lot of economy have gone into recession, so there was a need, to recover. Monetary policy has been extremely expansive. Now, the question I think is that, it's very difficult for a central bank to start tightening in a situation in which, the pandemic is still the Omicron variant is very uncertain. And I think they are starting to do it a little late. And they cannot, speed up too much for a number of reasons. And the risk is that they are slightly behind the curve. And we'll see.
If you think about the numbers we've had lately, I mean, it's been just extraordinary just how big a drop we had on the growth side and the hit to the unemployment rate. And then, what we've now seen on the inflation side as demand has bounced back. Do you think there's a legacy here that central bankers were nervous about inflation because for so long it's just almost impossible to find much of the inflation levels across many different countries?
Surely, if you think about the Fed strategy review that was announced about a year ago, it was all based on what happened up to 2019 before COVID. And this idea that, even with unemployment at 3.5, inflation would stay low. Now, the situation is completely different now, and they cannot, adhere to the framework anymore. The situation is different because of a couple of reasons. One is that COVID, as President Powell said, also caused some supply side restrictions. In the United States, workers are reluctant. I mean, there are a number of workers who have left the labor market. Participation is not the same as before the crisis. So there is a shortage of labor because the demand also is very strong thanks to huge fiscal stimulus. If you think that, between the end of 2020 and the starting of this year, both administration, the Trump and the Biden administration, introduced a fiscal stimulus.